Hey guys, welcome back to the Unity podcast. Um, Here I'm trying to send a message out to all of you. The aim of this podcast is to try and alleviate as many people's fears as I can, and just do what I can for those who might be suffering with anxiety, because I know that this time is incredibly tough on all of us, and we need to feel together. So I just wanted to take a little bit and share my thoughts. Um, as with all of you, I am hunkering down. Um, I'm in my home here in Maui, and I just want to say that you're not alone. We're all in this together. Please don't give in to fear. Do not give in to fear. Hold on to hope. Because America, we will get through this. I promise you, we will get through it. And when we do, you can bet that we're going to have a new lease on life. Things are going to be amazing for all of us. We're going to feel more connected. We should already feel more connected. And we're going to step into the new dawn together. Each and every one of us. So I just want to say that if you're hunkering down, whether you're with someone or if you're by yourself, that I'm here. If you want to talk to someone, if you feel like you've got a lot on your mind and it's just eating you up inside, because I know I've been dealing with it for the past couple of days, really. And the other thing is, the media, this is the other thing I think I've spoken about a little bit before. It is important to stay updated. I get that, and I think we're all doing it. But it is also very, very easy to slip into this state of panic and allow that to consume us. And we have to keep in mind that fear does negatively affect the body. It affects our immune system. It keeps us in a state of, well, despair. So we have to try our best to be strong. If not for ourselves, then like I said previously, then for others around us. Because now more than ever, we need to be an example. Our mettle is being tested for sure. But trust me when I tell you that you're far stronger than you realize. I believe in you, and you believe in yourself. Now, this is new territory, for sure, and it's going to take us some time to get adjusted. But already, there are those who are adjusting, and I think one thing that's helped me is knowing that there are people here that are in the same situation. We're all in the same boat. And the community I live in, we live, in close distance. Now, don't worry, I know social distancing, but you get what I mean. And so, if you feel that you are alone, you aren't. You have people that love you. If I don't know you personally, I still love you. And that's the message I want to give to everyone today is love. Love and hope. Because we cannot give in. We have to keep hope alive. And there are places that are doing just that. There's some distilleries right now, as we speak, that are making their own hand sanitizer. And you have to look for those sparks of light right now. You have to keep those in mind. Because there are people out there that are trying to do good. Whether that's on the front lines of this pandemic or people in your community. We are banding together. And quite honestly, it's probably one of the most amazing things I've seen in a long time. I mean, the fact that there's, to a degree, bipartisanship over this. And that people on both sides of the aisle are working to help us. Because again, America and the world, we are going to get out of this. Trust me. And trust in yourself. Don't be afraid. I know a lot of us, we tend to overthink. The brain wants to worry about the big picture. But we have to try and take things one day at a time. And just know that there are positive things. So I am going to take a call now. And someone wants to join the call, that's why. And I just want to say, I'll give you an example, okay? So, earlier, there was information that came out, and these are 10 positive updates from around the world. Not positive as in the sense like people are testing positive, but these are some things to keep in mind. Okay, so for the sake of not boring you all to death, I'm just going to keep it short. But it says, number 1, U.S. researchers deliver first COVID-19 vaccine to volunteers in experimental test program. So right now, there's a 43-year-old woman who volunteered. Thank you. You are a hero. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think there was about 40 others that are also doing it. Number 2, distilleries across the United States are making their own hand sanitizers to give away for free. So if you're in the Atlanta, Portland, rural Georgia, or North Carolina areas, there are distilleries that have started to produce their own hand sanitizers that they are giving away for free. Do not panic. Again, this is community coming together. And 3, air pollution plummets in cities with high rates of quarantine. So right now what we're actually seeing areas of the earth heal. And you look at Venice, the waterways are now reportedly crystal clear because of the lack of boats. So our planet is trying to recover as well. And she will, and we will, because we are part of her. Number 4, Johns Hopkins researcher says that antibodies from recovered COVID patients could help protect people at risk. So I'll just read this one really quick. The vaccine being tested in Seattle isn't the only potential treatment for the disease. An immunologist from Johns Hopkins University is reviving a century-old blood-derived treatment for use in the United States in hopes of slowing the spread of the disease. The technique uses antibodies from the blood plasma or serum of people who have recovered from COVID-19 infection to boost the immunity of newly infected patients and those at risk of contracting the disease. So that's another one. We're moving down the list here, people. 5, it says South Korean outbreak finally abating as recoveries outnumber new infections for 3 days in a row. 3 days in a row, guys. That is impressive. And that shows that what the media is saying, they're only focusing on cases. And I know that's frightening. It really, and I've been dealing with that too. Trust me. Whenever you hear, 20 new cases, 30 new cases, 50 new cases, immediately our first reaction is to assume that means death, when it doesn't really. About upwards of 80% of people who get this will recover. Anyway, so it says, according to Reuters, South Korea recorded more COVID-19 recovery cases on March 6th than new infections for the first time since the nation experienced the largest Asian outbreak outside of China. Since the novel coronavirus outbreak was first reported in South Korea back in January, the nation reached a peak of 909 new infections on February 29th. Now, however, Reuters reports that the declining rate of infection has continued to fall, with less than 100 new cases reported for several days in a row. And let me tell you, if South Korea can do it, we can do it. Okay? Six, China celebrates several milestones milestones of recovery after temporary hospitals close and parks reopen. So, I know that there's some of you out there that might say, well, China is fudging the numbers. They never want to disclose the full severity of anything because they depend on reputation. But I think it's important to say that a lot of people, again, are recovering. Here in the United States, too. So, I believe that. And number 7, Australian researchers testing 2 drugs as potential cures for the virus. This is potentially big news. At the University of Queensland Centre for Clinical Research, scientists have found that 2 different medications, both of which are registered and available in Australia, have completely wiped out traces of the disease in test tubes. Not only that, the drugs were given to some of the nation's first COVID-19 patients, which resulted in, quote, disappearance of the virus and complete recovery from the infection, researchers told news.com.au. The university is now looking to conduct a nationwide trial with the drugs to evaluate the efficacy and tolerance of each drug administered separately and together. Number 8, Uber Eats is supporting the North American restaurant industry by waiving delivery fees for 100,000 restaurants. Amazing. Wonderful stuff, guys. This is big here too. Number 9, Dutch and Canadian researchers are reporting additional breakthrough research on treating the virus. Scientists from Canada and the Netherlands have also made medical breakthroughs of their own. In Toronto, a team of researchers managed to isolate the agent responsible for the ongoing outbreak of COVID-19, which will help researchers around the world develop better diagnostic testing, treatments, and vaccines. Quote, researchers from these world-class institutions came together in a grassroots way to successfully isolate the virus in just a few short weeks, said Dr. Rob Kozak, clinical microbiologist at Sunnybrook Health Sciences Center. Further goes on to say, quote, it demonstrates the amazing things that can happen when we collaborate. And that is what we need to do, guys. We need to collaborate. Whether that's helping a family by getting them groceries, or something like this, where we have a platform to discuss these things, and for people to feel included. Bottom line is, we need to come together, and we're seeing this right here. This is amazing stuff. And then, of course, it says number 10, here are a bunch of other ways that people and businesses are supporting each other throughout the U.S. outbreak. It says Dollar General has announced that they will be devoting their opening hour of shopping time to elderly customers. Athletes and sports teams are pledging to pay the wages of arena employees during the shutdown. Utility companies, landlords, automakers, and internet providers are waiving a number of late fees and payments to ease the financial burden of the shutdown. School districts across the country are still opening their doors to serve meals to kids and families. So, we have to look for light. where we can. That is important. You know, I have anxiety, and I catch myself thinking worst case scenarios all the time. But having this, talking to you guys, makes me feel like I'm doing something worthwhile and helps me feel better, because I know that there are other people out there in the same boat, as the same feeling as how I'm feeling. So, like I said before, America, the world, we will emerge and we will be in the new dawn, all of us together. All of humanity united. And I hope this teaches us the value of our humanity, that we shouldn't lose sight of that. It's important. So take each day one day at a time. And while it is important to stay updated, also understand that there are people out there helping all of us in various ways. And I'm going to be doing this for as long as it takes, because I'll just tell you something that I feel comfortable sharing now. I've always had this sort of idea about humanity. I always believed in our potential. Because when I look at each and every one of you, I see your potential for greatness. I see how great you are in your core, even if you can't. Humanity is amazing. We are a wonderful species. Everything we've been able to build when we've put our heads together. When I was little, I remember I always imagined the future. Those of you who know me know that I am a nerd. But ever since I was little, I always looked to the stars. And I always had this idea of how humanity would become. And I still believe in that. I believe that we are capable of being a force for good on this planet and in our solar system, in our galaxy, in our universe. We were destined for great things. And each and every one of us has that destiny. So you are great. Don't ever doubt yourself. Don't ever underestimate your own abilities or your own worth. See how strong you are. I mean, we're seeing it every day now. I look at it this way. If I can sit here and talk to you and be able to tell you with confidence that you're strong, I'm strong, and talk about positive things with everything that's happening, I know the strength that each and every one of us has. And just like the sun shining, our future is bright. So look forward. We shall overcome. And just understand that I am with you. We're all together. Whether we're separated by fences, bodies of water, if we're in entirely different places on the earth, I am there with you. We're all there together. And we will grow. We will grow from this. Trust me. So, I know that this has been sort of a candid discussion, but I felt it was necessary because I know that a lot of us are scared right now. But we can't let that fear control us, because that is when we make mistakes. Well, I got my first call in. Hello, Aaron.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us.
Not a problem. You should be a motivational speaker. You really should. That was really good, what you were talking about. Really hit you in the feels. But no, I was watching Rachel Maddow just now, and she was talking about a couple of good things that were happening too, that I would like to share, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
In King County, Washington, they are building a temporary hospital on a soccer field to try to help, the hospitals not be so overwhelmed and everything. So that's good. And then there's one of those smart thermometers that this company uses, and it tracks your fever in real time. And they had been using it to track the flu, across the nation. And apparently it's able to track the COVID-19 before even the CDC is able to track it, because it watches the beavers in real time. So you know real time where beavers are or people or something. So that's really interesting. And I think that the CDC is wanting to work with them to start, helping, see if people need help in certain areas or hot spots or whatever, and get help out to them a lot faster since we don't have so many tests.
That's awesome.
And then she was also talking about there was a town in Italy called Rho, I think is how she pronounced it. And it's a pretty small town. It's only got a little over 3,000 people. But they were able to test everybody. What they did was mass testing for everybody, even, people who didn't have symptoms. And they were able to find asymptomatic people, and they were able to quarantine everybody, so now they have no cases at all in that town anymore.
Amazing. You see, people, there's progress being made. There is. So don't let things that the media, don't let the negativity overwhelm you. Okay? There is light out there. And
exactly.
I think that if I could just say that each and every one of you is a powerful being. All of you are full of radiant energy. And I think it's fundamental that we send some energy to each other.
Yeah.
And there's some people out there that may not understand what's going on. People that may have mental illness, whatever form that is. People who feel like their backs are against the wall right now. Whether it's financially or just with the current living situation. But what I said before, I'll say again, we're all going to get through this together.
Absolutely.
This is not the end of our story. One of these days, we're going to wake up to great news, to amazing news, and we're going to read that the virus is gone. And when that happens, I am going to rejoice with you. we're all going to celebrate together.
Mm-hmm. Reminds me of that little Orphan Annie song, "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow."
Yeah, exactly.
Only a day away.
Yeah. So, have faith, whatever form that takes, whatever deity you believe in.
And even if you don't, have faith in yourself and humanity.
Yeah. And have faith in those heroes,
Exactly.
those people who are on the front lines right now, and the people who are keeping us supplied.
Yes.
Give thanks to them. So, Aaron.
Yes.
How's your day been? What have you been up to?
Today's been an day. I'm still struggling with allergies.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I woke up this morning, I really just did not feel good, and it kind of made me wake up in a grumpy mood, and I've kind of held that mood all day. But, I mean, other than that, it hasn't been too bad of a day.
Nice.
Just normal Alabama allergy crap because it's been raining so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I was reading where they were saying that, now I'm not sure if it's every Walmart in the nation or if it's just here. I think it's every Walmart where they're doing store hours now where they're closing, but they're also doing what the other stores did where they're dedicating the opening hours to the elderly and immunosuppressed and disabled, mainly elderly, to get their supplies before anybody else comes in. And our local store, Hometown, is paying its employees $2 extra an hour now during this time.
Awesome.
Which I thought was really awesome.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how's your day been?
Okay. I'll be frank with you guys. I did have a brief episode this morning. It comes and goes, but again, that's why I feel that this is very important, because there are a lot of us out there that do have anxiety that need something like this, I feel. But,
Exactly.
other than that, went for a drive. Just drove around with my dogs and my mom.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And, so it's been a pretty chill day.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah. And what I'm thinking of is, I think the more I do this, the more I'm going to look at possibly doing something that is like interactive. And I would like some suggestions from anyone who is tuning in. Anyone who's
interactive how? Like interactive as in we talk, or interactive as in we play games, or
we talk or play games.
Well, I have a suggestion then. If get a big enough audience or have people that want to join in and play a game, we could use Skype call or something. And I'm sure everybody's heard of Cards Against Humanity, where you have the black cards and the white cards that players hold, and it's like kind of like you find it's a really funny card game. Well, anyway, they have the actual physical copies of the cards that you buy, but there's also a website where you can play the card game online. And you can make a little room where you can invite people in through the link, and they can join in, or you can just have an open air server where anyone can join. It's really interesting, and it's really fun. I've played it in the past with people.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of apps, or I think there's a couple of apps where you can do a Pictionary type game with people too, but I'm not entirely sure how that works. But yeah, that sounds fun. So if you guys want to join, just suggestions.
Yep. And if anyone sorry, I'm trying to look at something right here real quick.
That's fine. Take your time.
All right. So yeah, the other thing is, if any of you have Xbox, I have that. My gamer tag is Paranoia Theory 0, capital P and capital T, and then the number at the end. I have Warframe, Destiny 2, Gears of War 4 and 5, Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3. If you want a game on there, or we can also do maybe like I know Netflix is doing this thing right now where they have a watch party.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like a browser extension or something. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we can do that too. And just, we have to try and hold it together. I do want to say, for anyone who's watching that's from Hawaii or anyone on the mainland, hopefully if you guys check this out later after I post it or whatever. But the thing is so that the thing is, implore, if you can, our mayor to close the airports.
Yes.
And please do not come to Maui. Okay? We only have one hospital here, and we have elderly. A lot of us have children too, and you are going to be putting these people in danger. And right now, we don't have the infrastructure to support you anyway. So,
Yep.
don't come here. And in fact, if any of you can contact our governor's office and urge him to make that mandatory across the entire state, not a request, mandatory across the entire state, that would help greatly, because as we speak, there are people over in Kauai that are locals over there that have tried to protest outside of the airport there to get tourists to go back on the plane. Because Kauai is even smaller than us. So please don't come here. Okay? We are trying to fight it like everywhere else. So get the word out. I know this is really tough for all of us right now. And
But we gotta all think about other people, especially those greater at risk. I know the beach and the vacation sounds great right now, especially going to Hawaii, but just stay home. Think about other people right now.
yeah, please. You really only should be going out if you're getting like essential stuff, like if you're getting groceries, if you're delivering groceries to somebody else that needs it, medicine. That's it. This is not a time to like lollygag, and don't be like the idiots in Florida on the beach.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't. Like I know a lot of you, especially younger people, think you're young, healthy, and invincible, but even if you are, you can still pass this on to somebody else who is not. So just please be mindful of that.
Yeah. Also, thank you for bringing that up, because I did also want to mention there are ways that you can boost your immune system, which is important to fighting off this virus.
Yes.
So, if you have vitamin C, take that. Vitamin D, D3, B6, B12, zinc. Now, the interesting thing about zinc is that they have been saying that countries who have been, for people who have been taking zinc, on a regular basis, anyway, have found that the COVID-19 is fought off. And it's because zinc bolsters your blood cells. So think of it kind of like, I guess if I could use an analogy, it would be like positive steroids for your cells. Um, zinc is powerful, and if you have zinc, you should be taking, I believe it was suggested, 150 milligrams of zinc. And zinc gluconate and acetate, or I think that's what it is. Let me see that. Oh, and by the way, I know there's been a lot of conflicting things going on about chloroquine, which is the anti-malarial pill. I know our president said one thing, and then the FDA said another thing. But there are countries that are using chloroquine, and it has shown that it does kill the virus. So that part is real. That part is real. That chloroquine does affect the COVID-19. So what I wanted to point out about zinc, and I have this article here, is says zinc is an essential micronutrient that is critical in a majority of the life-enabling enzymatic processes our bodies rely on. These zinc-dependent processes range from aiding neurogenesis and supporting healthy reproduction by ensuring DNA integrity. Zinc's notoriety is primarily due to its ability to regulate the immune system and its innate antimicrobial activity. White blood cells, called lymphocytes, are the body's main defense against viral infections. Zinc supplementation has been shown to increase white blood cell counts in zinc-deficient patients, but also increase the immune response in healthy patients. Additionally, zinc has intrinsic antiviral activity that extends to the corona family of viruses. In vitro studies, in vitro is cells, studies have shown zinc inhibits coronaviral replication by blocking a key viral enzyme utilized for replication in host cells, RNA polymerase, or not polymerase, polymerase, there you go. So, some countries have been they've been finding zinc to be a possible treatment for coronavirus. So keep that in mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
If any of you have that in your homes, again, try and ration it, especially if you have multiple family members that you live with. And they said about 150 milligrams, I believe. So keep that in mind. It's just good to have anyway. I mean, you want your immune system up. So zinc, vitamin C, and then exercise is important. Now, I know a lot of places, parks are closed. You don't necessarily have to go out to exercise. In fact, Planet Fitness is doing live streaming right now, where you can follow along with a personal trainer from home, and definitely do that.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, guys, again, we are going to come out of this.
Absolutely.
So keep that in mind, always. Do not give in to despair.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, especially if you live with other people, they pick up on that energy from you.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes everyone in the house uneasy. And as we know, being overly anxious, like I mentioned before, also serves to weaken the immune system.
Yeah.
So, be as positive as you can, but don't be careless. Being positive does not mean being careless.
Exactly.
Be safe. And I am here. We're here.
Yes.
And we're a global community now.
Definitely.
And I think, that's the other beautiful thing about this is, I think for the first time, a lot of people are understanding how important we are to one another, how important our planet is.
Yeah.
And we are coming together. So I just wanted to do this. I guess you could say it's a sort of a special episode today.
Yeah.
To try and kind of have a more real conversation about it, more candid, and to try and ease your mind.
Definitely.
Really, the only thing you have to do, guys, is wash your hands and don't touch your face.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how much I loved touching my face until it was recommended I don't.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a challenge for a lot of us.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about not being able to touch my face makes my nose itch.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing is, totally forgot what I was going to say. It happens. It happens. So, yeah. So again, I'm going to post this on my SoundCloud. If you guys haven't followed that yet, please do. It's soundcloud.com/the Unity Podcast. Unity Podcast. And check that out. Share it. Again, I'm coming to you from Maui. And wherever you are, aloha. And we have to keep hope alive. We have to keep love alive.
Definitely.
I'm there with you. We're all there.
And we got this.
Yeah.
We're going to be okay.
Yeah, we got this. So, I'll post this. I'll try and post this too. I realized I didn't post the one yesterday on YouTube, so I'm going to do that also. And please share this if you feel like it'll benefit yourself, even just a little bit, or if you feel like you have people that you know that need to hear from someone. Please share. We got to get the word out.
Definitely.
And as I'm going to be working from home now, a lot of us are.
Yeah.
So if you guys would like to support me in any way, that would be really appreciated. All right. So, love you guys. And
Love you.
Peace out. And maybe I'll be back later. Maybe I'll be back later tonight. I don't know. All right.